And so that helps them to learn, while learning, obviously the scientific concept. And then the core approach is hands-on investigations, growing a plant, seeing butterflies hatch out of a cocoon or a chrysalis, and also doing science as a learning science. It's hands-on. We're learning it as it's happening right there in the classroom, and using supplemental kits, which have been, I believe, ordered as well.
Absolutely. What I think is most important about this is that we are finally solidifying our alignment of scope and sequence with the high school. And Ridgewood will have now all of its 8th graders from all of its feeder schools coming in with the same curriculum and the same experiences. And that's going to be an important thing. Articulation then can happen between us and Ridgewood in a much more powerful way. They will understand what we're teaching, and we will be able to best align that with them. It also ensures curriculum fidelity. When you have a program that you are adopting, you have an opportunity to really make sure that everything is getting taught. When you're making it up as you go and you're not having a sequential experience with these scopes, then you aren't absolutely sure that every 8th grader will get exactly what they need to prepare them for Ridgewood. And this will ensure that fidelity. So the next thing that we will do upon your approval of our new curriculum is our teachers will get this professional development that they need to start really planning and digging in to their first unit or their first scope. The materials will be ordered tomorrow morning upon your approval. The POs are ready to go, and we will be introducing this to our parents, especially as conferences are coming up and as we really get to know it ourselves. And we always will be aligning this with our ongoing assessments and seeing how this impacts MAP, seeing how it impacts our PARC scores, as well as impacting how our students do with just those skills they need for high school. So we will hear next year how well our students are doing in science, hopefully, at Ridgewood because of this curriculum. So now we would like to take your questions.
Questions? How long do you think that it will take for the professional development to get the teachers and staff to the level that you would like them to be at?
I believe anytime you adopt a new program, the first time through, you are finding your way. And so, of course, we want to implement, we believe this is a high quality program and that it can be implemented the first year with fidelity. But anytime a teacher goes through and teaches a curriculum for the first time, there's always changes and improvements that they want to make the next year. So because of the quality of this program and the completeness of the kits that come with it and all of the materials, the online components, I think you have a far better ramp up or initiation of this program than other programs. Like we used to just get a book, for example. Now it's this complete package, and they start with an in-person professional development. I think that is a much better start than other programs.
Okay. And just so everyone just kind of knows, could you or have someone explain to us what we're doing currently for science, and why is this so important to take us to spend the $40,610.06 for this curriculum in a sense? Why is that important to what we have now versus what this will offer to our kids?
Well, I'd like my teachers to answer that maybe with their own anecdotes, but from my perspective, I think what we have now are textbooks that still think Jupiter is a planet, and and I say that truthfully.
No, truthfully,
okay.
Pluto is a planet.
They think truthfully, and while I have seen some, I've been in our classrooms watching experiments happen. I know that my teachers are, putting those things together themselves and looking at the standards and doing a really good job. But this ensures that all of the standards are covered in a way that has a lot of integrity and has that way of tracking with assessment data how well our students are doing on those standards in a way that every teacher doesn't have time to make sure that they are covering them. Do they try? Of course. They're doing a great job, and I've seen some great experiments. However, this has that just, it checks every box and makes sure we cover every standard with depth. And that's where we need to be. So I don't want to get to the end and say, oh, we just didn't have time for some things, right? I want to make sure that we implement fully. So please add to that, but...
Well, the current one that we have now, there's no technology piece. It's not up to date with information. I think the last time, I've been here, I'm like the historian almost of the district. And I believe it's in the 1992 series. So
Nice.
a lot of things in technology, it's not even has a technology piece. It doesn't have
Right.
an assessment piece. There's just so many missing pieces that we do have a dedicated staff that works really hard to accommodate all these missing pieces. And we've looked at 6 different companies, took a whole year out of our time. We piloted this against others, against our quick rubric, and this is the one that came out ahead. It's teacher created, backed up by, I forgot what university, and I can't remember right now. Thank you. Rice University, and it just checked all the boxes, like Mrs. Collar said. Checked all the boxes, hit all the bells and whistles, and yes, it is a big number, but this one, if it lasts us all the years that the last one lasted us, we're going to get our money's worth out of it. Really. That one's from 1992. Look how great it's been going, and our scores are good.
It does also beautifully complement our Achieve 3000 program, and it also will beautifully dovetail in with our standards-based grading. So these are the kinds of things that we need to have in place as a foundation for those initiatives.
Can I just say our books they're not aligned to these standards. Like you're talking about when they came out, it shows. Because next generation science standards, the book's has no idea what I'm talking about. So I use stuff from the books, but you can ask my kids, it's not that much.
It's a loaded question. I realized that the science curriculum that we have is, I didn't realize it was 25 years old.
It's not.
But that's where...
2000.
2001.
Oh, okay.
Or some of the books. It depends on what grade level.
We've got a whole array.
Yeah.
All right, great. So you have they're old, and so we needed to step up, and I thought it was important for the board and for the public to realize that this is an investment in our children, and this is where we're spending our money on. And so this is, so thank you. Any other questions from the board?
Not so much a question, but I do want to make a statement. As a parent of children that have gone through the schools here, one of the biggest things I've always been disappointed is the lack of science that our children have. And then when they get to the high school, they're behind. And Ridgewood realizes that group of kids, there's a cohort of kids going in that they're from District 80 and they're behind. And the one thing I'm happy to see is the alignment to the high school. So this way, and then I know the high school made some adjustments too. Recently they've announced that they made some adjustments in their science and math to help those kids that are struggling. So this is great. This is exactly what we need. Technology is moving around us so fast, and we just can't keep up with it. But with science, things are just changing daily. So, good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
We'll go right into the administrative reports. Dr. O'Malley.
So 2 things. The first is we have been working diligently to reconcile all of our fees, and we are in the final stage of approving waivers. I will have for the board within the next month a breakdown of where all the fees are going to be distributed for all of our resources. This is one of these resources that is a fee-based resource along with Achieve 3000, along with some other items. So we're going to break it down. We're going to make it public so that people know exactly where their fees are going, whether it's in music, in science, in textbooks, in tech. And that's something I think 3 board members, it's guilt by association, all 6 board members wanted us to bring forward at some point in time. So we're working through, we want to be very thorough and very thoughtful, but more specifically, we wanted to make sure you had it the first time right. And so, like I said, it's in the first stages. We'll have Dr. Craig Schilling review it, and then you guys will have access so that you can know exactly where your fees are going. The second thing I just wanted to bring to light in the public is that the board on October 10th approved a resolution for the administration where we were charged with investigating special education services currently provided through LASIK. And there are 5 areas that we're investigating. The first one the board wanted me to look at is the cost of special education services provided inside and outside of district to its students with IEPs. The second thing is expanding or reducing any services provided in district. The third is the academic performance of the district's students with IEPs. The fourth is options for revising. Once again, options for revising the district's relationship with LASIK. Number 5, improving the services and delivery thereof to the district students with IEPs. Okay? And before the rumor hits the rumor mill, I want to be very, very clear. I want to be very, very clear. LASIK is a service that works with the district. They're a service. We have many services. We have a cleaning service. We may have from time to time a transportation service. We have a food service, etc., etc. We, as a district, the board as a whole, reserves the right to look at our services, our contractual services, and look for improvements. We have the right to look for opportunities for improvement. We're in the first phase of looking for the opportunities for improvement. Okay? The board has given the administration flexibility on what that relationship looks like. As a superintendent, I'm starting with a broad perspective, and we're going to narrow down. It's going to happen very, very quickly. What's important here is we're always going to do what's best for our students. We will always do what's best for our students. Okay? When it comes to the standard of care of Norwich School District 80 students, no one can do it like Norwich School District Board of Education. Okay? And so that is what's most important. We serve our students. And so you're going to hear things in the rumor mill. I just want to share with you that I'm going to report out at all the regular scheduled board meetings. This is the first phase of the contractual service and looking for opportunities of improvement. And I'm a very positive thinker. I think this is going to be very positive for our district. It's long overdue. Remember that we do have space in both of our buildings. Here at Giles, we have 3 classrooms with bathrooms in the classroom, and the classrooms are empty. I could share with you at Lee School, we have an LRC, an old LRC, and I wouldn't even say it's old. It's actually a very nice area, very clean, well done. We have an LRC where we're looking for people who want to use the space for the betterment of our students. So I want to make sure I basically touched on that today because it's very important. I'm going to actually have the same discussion with our staff on Friday at the SIP day so that they're in the loop. But it's a process, right? Sometimes, as I tell people, I can't compete with Twitter. I can't compete with Instagram, Facebook. They're far quicker than I could ever be or ever imagine, right? I can only go at the pace that I'm allowed. With that said, we're going to follow our process. We're going to be diligent. What's important is people know that we will do what's best for our students. And case in point, we had our first EPIC meeting, exceptional parents, professionals, people, when it comes to for our exceptional parents, people, partnerships, programs for our exceptional children. Sorry, that's EPIC, E-P-E-C. We had our first EPIC meeting. We had a large gathering of parents who really care about their students. There were some tears that were shed. It was awesome because people were able to relate in many shapes and forms that we haven't seen before. But that's the first step in empowering our parents, because the way I view it is when it comes to all of our kids, it's a partnership. We're a team. We work together. Parents know their students better than we do. We know the process and the programs that are research-based when it comes to educating our kids. But we got to come together on this, and we got to work together. So I thought I would just basically let people know here and now, and we'll go from there. So from time to time at the board meetings, I'll report out on the progress. So that being said, that's all I have for now.
Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Malley.